I'm Isabella, and I'm 27 years old. I have a creative job at a software company in Florida. It may seem like I have a simple life, but things at home are really complicated. A year ago, my dad's company suddenly went bankrupt. I had to go back to my hometown to live with my parents and my sister Mary. My family needs my money to get by. One evening, my mom began talking while we were sitting together. Isabella says she wants pork steaks for dinner tomorrow, she said. I let out a small sigh and said, "Oh, and we're low on money for groceries. We can't buy pork at all. Could you please help a little more with the food budget?" I frowned and said, "We have no money for food, and it's not even halfway through the month yet." Then Mary said, "Big sis, you're not giving enough money for food." I was really surprised. "What do you say? I'm giving $10,000. That should be plenty," I replied sharply. Mary made a funny noise. "Big sis, prices are up now. $10,000 is not enough for a family of 4 these days." I couldn't stop my frustration. "Only $10,000. Less than text if you have an issue with it. Why not find a job and help pay for your own food?" I replied quickly. Mom got involved and supported Mary. "Finding a job is tough. I feel sorry for Mary," she said. I felt really upset. Mary says she is looking for a job, but really she is just sitting around and not doing anything. Also, the money I give is quietly being given to Mary as spending money by my mom. "That's enough," I finally said. "If it's really tough to handle, why don't we sell this house and go back to Grandma's hometown? We might be able to get jobs there, and life could be easier." But Mom said no to that idea right away. "No chance. I'm not going back to that town," she said. "My grandma has a popular Italian restaurant in Miami where we can work and enjoy free pizza and pasta. Life would be simpler, but Grandma is very strict, especially about making pizza. My mom doesn't like this and doesn't want to do the tough job of making pizza. My dad always asks, why do we quickly ask Grandma for help when we should be taking care of ourselves? That's just being pampered." I felt like screaming inside. How can they call me spoiled when I'm the one paying for everything and my sister doesn't even want to work? Mary should also find a part-time job. She is 25 years old, and many people have part-time jobs while they search for full-time work. I said this, but my mom quickly disagreed. "No, Mary helps at home, so she doesn't have time for a part-time job," she said. "What do you mean?" I didn't understand that at all. "What do you mean? I've never seen Mary do any cleaning around the house," I said. My dad jumped in. "Mary takes the dishes to the sink after eating, and she washes her own clothes. Sometimes she even gives me shoulder rubs," he said. I felt myself getting mad. The chores my dad talked about are things that even a small child can do. Every morning I get up early to make breakfast for my family and pack my dad's lunch. Also, I handle the household money and take care of the taxes. But my parents always like Mary more. They have always been nicer to her than to me since we were young. People say I'm nice-looking too, but Mary has always been seen as more graceful and charming. That's why our parents have always treated her differently. I know I should just leave, but it's not simple, and moving out is hard for me. I deal with this stress every day. One day I didn't notice that my sister had gone out of the house. I thought she just went out like she always does. But then the next day and the day after that, she was missing. I began to feel unsure. When I got home and was going to my room, I heard my parents talking in the living room. I was really surprised by what I heard. I am excited for the souvenirs from Louisiana. My mom said, "Mary is very lucky now, enjoying the nice beaches and eating at nice restaurants." "I want to go to Louisiana as well. Perhaps we can all go together next time," my dad said. I couldn't keep quiet any longer. "Hold on, what do you mean? Are you saying that Mary is in Louisiana at this moment? I asked, feeling puzzled. My parents stared at me, shocked. Yes, that's correct, they said. I was really surprised. But how? She has no money, I said. I have been trying not to shop or go out to save money. Oh, she got a trip from a contest, my mom said. Mary has always been lucky with things like that. It seems that Mary won a trip to Louisiana and I didn't know about it. I was surprised, so I chose to accept their explanation for now. The next day, while I was at work, I received a call from a credit card company that I didn't expect. I don't often use my credit card, so I was surprised when the company called to tell me about high charges in the last 4 days. I don't remember buying anything expensive. I felt nervous, so I asked how much had been spent. The customer support agent said it was $20,000 for 4 days. I immediately knew who was responsible. It must be my sister, Mary, having fun on her trip to Louisiana. She might have won the hotel stay and plane tickets, but she still needed cash for souvenirs and other stuff. I wanted to know the truth, so I called her. What's happening? Tell me what you mean, I said. Oh, I didn't expect you to call, sis, Mary joked. I thought you were waiting for your souvenirs. Stop playing around. You have been using my credit card without asking, right? I asked firmly. She looked like she didn't care at all. Did you see? It was an accident, she said in a relaxed way. I got more and more angry. I felt bad for not noticing earlier that someone had looked through my things. What was on your mind? Using a credit card without asking is against the law. I yelled. It could be a problem if it belonged to someone else, but we're family, Isabella. You really need to learn about these things, she said. How can you use $20,000 in only 4 days? That's a really big amount of money. So, apart from the free flight and hotel, I had to pay for everything else like activities, shopping, and meals. I went to nice restaurants, bought some name-brand things, and took cabs. I didn't even realize it, but I spent more than $20,000, she said easily. It's not right to spend that much money, Mary. What were you thinking? Why are you so angry? I used the card because it was going to run out soon. That's it, sis. You can take care of the bill, she said happily, then hung up the phone. I couldn't find the words to say anything. Everything happened really fast. After that, Mary kept trying to reach me, but I didn't respond to her. She left a message on my voicemail saying, I guess I really messed up this time. I'm really silly. I found it funny how relaxed she was about it. When I got home later that evening, my parents quickly came to say hello. Welcome back, they said. How can you stay so calm? My mom said, Mary's in a hard situation. Why did you cancel the card? She has a problem. What does that mean? She used my card without asking, so I had to stop it, I said. When the credit card company called, and I saw the charges I didn't know, I canceled the card immediately. It seems that Mary tried to use the card after it was blocked and got worried when it didn't work. She got mad at me, but when I kept ignoring her, she went to our parents for help. Your sister is in trouble in another country and you're not going to help her? My dad asked. Are you still saying that just because we're family, it's okay to use someone's card to spend $20,000? I asked. I don't think you should be so unkind, my mom said. Why are you so cold? Your attitude is why you don't get to go on trips. Mary wanted to buy us souvenirs with the card, so what's the problem? I was shocked by what I heard. You two are amazing. Why do you think like that? Do you talk in your sleep during the day? It's important to think clearly. She's having fun and thinking about us, and you still want me to be considerate. Caring. Can you still say that after you hear this? I took out my phone and listened to the voicemail my sister sent me. Mary's voice was very clear and easy to hear. Make the card work, you stingy person. My parents' cards are all used up, so I can't use them. You're being really stingy by not giving me any pocket money for this trip. How unhelpful can they be?" When my parents heard Mary's angry message, they didn't say anything. They got less angry fast and ran to their room to look at their credit cards. A little while later, I heard them yelling in fear. When I went to see them, their faces were red with anger. "I can't believe Mary took my card without asking after all we've done for her," my dad said angrily. "She also took the bank book and our cards. I feel really let down." "Oh?" I answered in a cold way. "Wasn't it meant to be a nice thing for Mary to buy you souvenirs? You mentioned she was thinking about us and trying to have fun for us, correct? Sure, that's what we believed. But our money is still safe, right?" My mom said quietly, not so sure. When I saw how fast their feelings changed when they found out their money was still safe, I couldn't hide my sadness. Why not just increase the card limit and pay off the balance so she can use it again? Just let the nice Mary who wants to buy you gifts have it, I said with a hint of sarcasm. "That can't happen," my mom said. "We have no savings now. What will we do? Mary is out there without any money for food or anything." After everything got crazy, my dad suddenly looked at me. "Isabella, can you please? Let's begin again. We will work together to help this family. Please help Mary," he asked. "What do you mean? Am I included now?" I asked in a sarcastic way. My mom knelt down in front of me because of what my dad said. I was surprised for a moment, but then I just had to laugh sadly. "It's a bit too late for sorries now," I said, but my mom kept asking me sincerely. "I promise I will change. I will try hard to help everyone from now on. I will never hurt you or her again," she said. Even with everything going on, I just couldn't help but laugh at how silly the situation was. When my parents went back to their room, I quietly took out my credit card. I wasn't sure what to do next. The plan. I found a credit card that was still good and had not been used before. I said, "How about giving this card to Mary and going on a family trip together?" My parents were very happy about the idea. They quickly got in touch with my sister, and everyone started to happily get ready for the trip. I booked their flights to Louisiana online while watching them and smiling. Once everything was ready, I called a specific number. The fallout. 5 days later, when my mom, dad, and sister came back from Louisiana, Mary said hello to me. "Hey, big sis. Thanks for letting us have fun in Louisiana. You don't come to pick us up very often. Are you waiting for souvenirs?" "I'm sorry, I didn't buy anything," she said happily. It was obvious they enjoyed themselves a lot and had already forgotten to say thank you for my help. When I saw this, I realized it was time to start my plan. I was so excited I could hardly hold it in. "It seems you really enjoyed yourself. Was that the biggest moment in your life?" I asked in a relaxed way. "What do you mean by last?" Mary asked, looking puzzled. "I have decided to sell the house," I said. "I have sent our things to the new place, and someone is coming to get us." My parents and sister were very surprised. They saw the "for sale" sign at the front of our house. "What? What is this thing? Did you actually sell the house? What is happening?" they asked. I told them more, looking at their surprised faces. "A real estate agent I know from university wanted this land for some time and had been asking to buy the house and land together. I used to say no because I thought it was better to keep the house, but I have changed my mind recently. I saw that selling this house and living by myself again would give me money and peace of mind. My parents were against it. You can't sell the house by yourself. That's against the law. This house is Dad's, not yours. I stayed calm and said, "Oh, you look really upset about it. But what if I said the house and land are really in my name?" "What?" they said, surprised. "Dad, do you remember when you had trouble paying the taxes and asked me for help? I said I would pay if we put the house in my name. Do you remember signing the papers back then?" Dad looked sad when the memory came back to him. "Oh, that's true," he said quietly. I kept explaining. "I stayed in this house because it was already mine. I was waiting for the best moment to take you all out so I could sell it. It was hard to find a chance because you were always at home, but when I sent you to Louisiana, I finally got my opportunity. Since everyone is out of the house, I can sell it now." Everyone was very surprised. "What?" they said in surprise. I said calmly, "Your luggage is already at the new place, so don't worry. The pickup is coming soon." "Pickup? What do you mean?" my mom asked, still not understanding. "Grandma is waiting for all of us. She's really happy to see you," I said with a smile. "Hold on, Grandma. Are you talking about Mom?" my dad asked, his voice trembling. "Yes, I spoke with her and she said yes to taking everyone in. She really wants to help you understand things better. She also asked me to send your bags, so get ready to make pizza every day and clean at Grandma's restaurant." My parents and Mary were very surprised. "We can't visit Grandma. We really don't want to," Mary shouted. "Oh, I understand. Sure, you can do what you want, but without a home or work, how will you manage to live? And remember to pay the credit card bill. How will you pay it back?" "What do you mean?" my mom asked, looking a bit worried. "The card has your name on it. You thought it was under my name? Be more careful." "The card is really in another person's name," I said. "No way," my mom looked shocked as she pulled out the card and checked the name. Her eyes got bigger. "Hold on, this card belongs to Mary." "Right. I found the credit card in Mary's room and gave it to you. She got her first card when she started working, but she left that job not long after. It looks like she never used it." "What? I have spent too much money. What can I do now?" My mom got really worried. "Since Mary's name is on the card, she has to pay it off. You all have to work hard at Grandma's to pay for your stay and not cause any problems." Mary fought back until the last moment, but our parents, having no other choice, kept quiet and waited for Grandma to get there. A fresh start. When Grandma arrived, everyone went to her house and restaurant in Miami. With Grandma watching closely and her experienced workers helping, they learned to work hard, even crying sometimes. Mary paid back the $230,000 that was charged to my card, and Grandma was watching over everything. Even though I wanted to sort everything out by selling the house, Grandma was able to get back the living costs I had paid for and even took some of my parents' money to pay me back. Later, I moved into an apartment that was closer to my job and I could live alone again. My new life was going well, and I began to enjoy calm days. One evening, I was on my balcony watching the city as the sun went down. I felt a sense of relief from the pressure I had been carrying for a long time. There was a little bit of loneliness, too. My phone rang and I paused when I saw Grandma's name on the screen. "Hi, Grandma," I replied. She wanted to know how I was. "Yes, I'm okay," I said. "That's good," she said. "I wanted to talk about Mary and your parents. They are beginning to change, especially Mary. She is helping a lot with the work now. Your parents are starting to think about things too," Grandma continued. "Isabella, I understand that this has been tough for you. I believe I get what you're feeling. Family can sometimes feel heavy, but it's also something we need to help. I hope you can forgive them one day." I heard what Grandma said. I could hear she was unsure and worried, but she also sounded very determined. "Take your time," she said softly. "Take your time and think about it. When you are ready." I nodded, even if she couldn't see me. "I get it, Grandma. I will take my time and think about everything," I said. Then I softly ended the call. I looked at the city as the sun went down, and the night slowly covered the buildings. I felt a lot of different emotions inside me. I still felt mad and sad. There was also a little bit of hope for what's to come. When I got back to my room, I noticed an old family photo. A young Mary and I smiled with our parents in it. Looking at those happy faces made me think of the fun times we had together before. I wished we could return to those days. But reality soon reminded me. A fresh beat. As time went on, my life started to find a nice, easy routine. I was put in charge of a new project at work. I began to feel happier in my personal life. One evening, after finishing my work for the day, my phone rang. This time it was a number I didn't recognize. I thought about it for a moment, but chose to reply. "Hi, I'm Isabella." "It's me," Mary said, a voice that sounded different from her usual confident and proud way of speaking. It felt gentler, less certain. Shocked, I said, "Mary, what is happening? Did something go wrong?" "I'm sorry for calling unexpectedly." Well, she began to speak. "I want to see you face to face. I want to talk to you," Mary said gently. Her voice showed a kindness and change that I didn't think she had. "Why you want to get together?" I asked softly, waiting for her reply. Mary's voice was shaky but calm and honest, showing how much she had changed. "Hey, big sis, I really want to say I'm sorry. I thought a phone call wouldn't really show how I feel. I want to meet you face to face so I can really say I'm sorry." I could tell she was really sincere. I listened quietly without interrupting. "If it's too difficult for you to meet me, that's fine. I just want to understand how you feel," Mary said. After a short pause, I answered at last. "Okay, let's get together next Sunday at 3:00 p.m. at the cafe close to the station." "Is that true? That makes me really happy." "Thanks, big sis," Mary said, feeling better. After I finished the call, I took a deep breath to think clearly. I wasn't sure if meeting her was a good choice, but inside, I hoped it could lead to something good. A get-together. I got to the cafe before our meeting time on the day we were supposed to meet. While I was sitting there, my heart was beating fast, and I felt both nervous and excited. The clock ticked slowly, but soon the cafe door opened and Mary came in. She appeared different. Her face had no makeup, her clothes were plain, and most importantly, her eyes showed real change. She came to my table slowly and started saying sorry right away. "Big sis, I am really, really sorry." At that moment, I noticed something different in her, and for a moment I didn't know what to say. "Mary, I started, but she just kept talking, trying not to cry. Working at Grandma's house showed me how much I depended on you. I didn't appreciate you enough all these years. I get it now. It's been tough for you, always putting us first and not thinking about yourself." She cried as she thought about what she had done and kept saying sorry from the heart. Mary shared with me how much she had depended on me in the past and the things she learned while working at Grandma's. She talked about her relationships with our parents and how much she had changed. I sat still, hearing what Mary said. As I spoke, the anger and sadness I had kept inside for a long time began to disappear. As she kept talking, I felt the strong feelings inside me start to go away. "Thanks, Mary. I really listened to what you said," I said. After that, we talked for a few hours about different things, what was going on in our lives and the problems we were dealing with. This talk seemed like a key step in fixing our relationship. A new chapter. Just before we left, Mary gave me an envelope filled with thanks. Inside was money she earned by working hard at Grandma's house. "This is only the start, but I will keep trying my hardest," she said. When I took the envelope, I felt how much she had grown, and it made me feel happy. After a few months, I went to Grandma's house again and saw my parents there. This time they said sorry for real, and I could tell they had changed, just like Mary. That evening, we all gathered for a family meal, which we hadn't done in a while. I felt happy to be with my family again. I understood that I couldn't forgive everything immediately, but watching my family try to change made me feel hopeful about what's to come. Before I went, Grandma told me some good advice. Isabella, you have become strong, but while that strength is very important, remember the kindness you still have. The most important thing is that. When Grandma hugged me, I felt so much that I started to cry. I felt this was the start of something new with my family, and my heart began to feel lighter.